Welcome to Jikook Are Dating. Hope you're all doing well, Jikook fans. Today I bring you a video full of happiness, tenderness, and surprises because yes, our Jikook is back. And when I say back, I don't mean they're causing trouble, but they're back to share the Jikook interactions we've all been missing with the public. And here, as I always say, it's all about patience, waiting calmly because sooner or later they will bring back the moments we love. The cold Sapporo wind gently swept through the city streets that night. The streetlights glowed golden, creating dancing shadows on the freshly fallen snow. But behind the beauty of that Japanese winter night, there was an odd atmosphere, a subtle yet real vibration felt by anyone paying close attention to the two famous figures in the spotlight, Jungkook and Jimin of BTS. The two are known for their warm, funny relationship that sometimes makes fans laugh. But this time, the atmosphere between them was different. There was something in Jungkook's eyes, a flash of emotion that was difficult to describe, between worry, loss, and yes, jealousy. It all started at a mini concert held in Sapporo, where several members performed for a small promotional event. Taehyung, Jimin, and Jungkook were in the same team, and of course, that moment had many fans eagerly awaiting their interaction. But who would have thought that the stage, which was usually full of laughter, would instead turn into a heart-wrenching moment? When Jimin took the stage with Taehyung, the two seemed so natural. They laughed, looked at each other, and even whispered in each other's ears several times. The camera that focused on Jungkook's face captured an expression that was difficult to hide, a small smile, but his eyes clearly said something else. The armies who were present immediately took to social media. Is Jungkook jealous of Jimin and Taehyung? Why did his face suddenly change when Jimin laughed with Tae? I can feel the tension in the air. The atmosphere backstage was reportedly not much different. Some staff who saw him said Jungkook seemed quieter than usual, sitting alone while playing with his earphones. Usually, he was the loudest and joked around the most with Jimin. There was a moment that made everything even clearer. During a casual interview session, the host asked who among them helped the most during practice. Without hesitation, Jimin replied, "I think it's Taehyung. He always makes sure I eat and get enough rest." Those simple words sounded sweet to anyone's ears. But for Jungkook, there seemed to be another meaning that stung. His gaze immediately dropped, his hands playing with the ring on his finger, a small habit he often did when nervous or holding back emotions. For fans who know Jungkook well, that wasn't an ordinary sign. He was trying to hold himself back, trying to remain professional, but his heart was clearly not at ease. According to a report from one of the Japanese media outlets covering the event, Jungkook was seen talking seriously with Jimin backstage after the performance ended. They stood a little away from the crowd of staff. Although their voices couldn't be heard, Jungkook's body language showed that the conversation was emotional. Jimin, with his gentle expression, seemed to listen patiently, occasionally patting Jungkook on the shoulder as if trying to calm him down. However, Jungkook turned his face away, took a deep breath, and walked away first. That was the moment when rumors of a jealous outburst began to spread among fans. Social media, as usual, became a place for speculation. Twitter, TikTok, and Weverse were filled with theories and video clips. Many zoomed in on every glance, smile, and hand gesture. Some fans even compared the moment to a past incident, where Jungkook also appeared jealous when Jimin interacted more with other members. Comments circulating among ARMY. Jungkook is the emotional type. He's not angry, just sweetly jealous. If Jimin gets too close to anyone, Jungkook's mood immediately changes. Tae and Jimin are close, but we know who has always protected Jimin the most, Jungkook. A few hours after the event ended, Fans who happened to be near the hotel where BTS was staying claimed to have seen Jimin and Jungkook leaving together through a side door. They were wearing masks and hoodies, walking side by side under the dim light of street lamps. There were no cameras, no spotlights, just two figures who seemed to want to talk heart to heart. Some said they stopped at a small park covered in snow. Jimin patted Jungkook on the shoulder with a small smile, and Jungkook just stared at him for a long time. In that silence, it was as if many words were unnecessary. Jealousy turned into honesty, and that honesty brought them back to the same feeling, a warmth that had existed for a long time. A few days after the incident, in a short live broadcast on Weverse, Jungkook said something that left many fans speechless. "I don't like it when someone close to me suddenly feels distant." He didn't mention any names, but the fans knew exactly who he was referring to. His comment was immediately flooded with messages of support from ARMY who remembered the moment in Sapporo. Jimin, on the other hand, responded subtly. In another interview, he said, "Sometimes we just need time to understand someone's feelings." Jungkook and I understand each other without having to say much. Those words were like a gentle answer to all the questions. What's interesting about this story isn't just the drama of jealousy between two members, but how they understand each other behind it all. Jungkook is known as an intense and protective person toward those he cares about. Jimin, on the other hand, is a warm and caring person, easy to make anyone feel comfortable around him. When these two personalities meet, small friction sometimes arises, but that's where the beauty lies. They're not just coworkers, but friends who grow together through laughter, tears, and even jealousy. Now, several months later, many ARMYs still talk about that night in Sapporo as a moment of honesty between Jungkook and Jimin. No one really knows what happened, but one thing is certain. After that night, the two seemed closer than ever. When they performed together again, Jungkook seemed more relaxed, even teasing Jimin in front of the camera several times. And Jimin? He just laughed, looking at Jungkook with a warm gaze that was hard to describe, a mixture of affection, understanding, and something deeper than just friendship. That cold Sapporo night, with all the whispering snow and dim lights, held a little story between two hearts that had once clashed because of jealousy, but eventually found balance. And perhaps, as one fan said on Twitter, jealousy isn't because of distrust, but because of caring too much. That's Jungkook, someone who loves in silence, but when his feelings erupt, the whole world feels it too. Are you sure what happened in Sapporo was just a small misunderstanding? Or perhaps, behind the cold gaze of that night, there was something far deeper that only the two of them knew?